Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Olivia here with Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video I am over the moon excited to share with you 35 DIY Dollar Tree decor crafts. So this is another episode in my huge I Love Christmas series. I love to share with you all how you can make your homes boutique gorgeous on a teeny tiny budget. Listen, you do not have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. Also, I want to let you know that this is going to cover multiple different decor styles, whether you guys like to decorate with farmhouse, shabby chic, glam, traditional, whatever decor style that you love, you guys are going to be inspired to create something that's going to suit your decor style. Also, keep in mind, all you have to do is change out the ribbon colors or the paint colors to suit your fancy. So let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. For the first Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a super adorable snowman hat centerpiece. I'm going to take this Dollar Tree hat. It is left over actually from the 4th of July holiday, and then some of this Dollar Tree buffalo check plaid ribbon. It's left over from my fall crafting. I'm just going to add a dab of hot glue over here to the side of it, and then I'm going to make this more holiday inspired by adding some of this Dollar Tree holiday ribbon. I'm going to trim that off and then add some of this Dollar Tree evergreen greenery and say hello to my pupper and my daughter. They are just popping in to give me some snuggles and love and cheer me on. I could not do this without them. Now I am going to pop in some ribbon that is not Dollar Tree. I did order some of this on Amazon. This is some really pretty kind of plaid ribbon, so I'm just popping this on to the edge. You can also use some leftover ribbon that you may have in your craft stash from last Christmas, or maybe you're like me and just ordering things online, but pop in some beautiful Christmas ribbon. I'm also adding in some candy cane ribbon. I want this hat centerpiece to be really festive, like Frosty the Snowman has come to town. So have fun, add some Christmas goodies to your beautiful hat and go for it. Now lately I have been inspired by some Mackenzie Childs DIYs, and I did order some Mackenzie Childs ribbon during their online barn sale. So just a little tip from me to you, especially if you're selling your crafts, buy some more high-end ribbon and just use a tiny bit of it at the front of your crafts. So I used the inexpensive ribbon towards the back of this hat centerpiece, and then I'm using this high-end beautiful ribbon towards the front of my snowman centerpiece. Now, I do not sell my crafts anymore, but I used to have an Etsy shop many years ago, and that was kind of a little trick. I do love over-the-top designs, and to do those designs, to add layers and layers of ribbon, sometimes you have to supplement it with some cheaper ribbon and then add in some higher end ribbon. I'm also adding in some really cute little baubles here. These are just Dollar Tree ornaments. They're fun, festive, and sparkly, and Dollar Tree is also carrying these picks. Now, they're not the best quality, but for only $1, I'm popping a couple of them into the back of the little hat here. Again, use what you have in your stash. I guess if you guys are like me, you may have tons of holiday goodies already in your stash, so have fun with it and get creative. But this little snowman centerpiece I think would do Frosty proud. Now, you guys know I'm totally crushing on the glam look as well, so I couldn't resist adding in this beautiful glam jewel from totallydazzled.com. I also think that it's a fun way to make a memory centerpiece, so if you have a beautiful jewel, maybe from your grandma's memory jewel box, pop that in. I will leave a link to totallydazzled.com down below my description box. They have beautiful jewels for very inexpensive, but here is how it came out. Oh my goodness, I am so in love with this. Also, don't forget to customize this to suit your decor. I make creations for my home decor, but you guys can easily change this out to use ribbons that are going to suit your home decor. So shabby chic, glam, girly, Mackenzie Childs inspired, maybe you do ocean theme, whatever you love to decorate with, customize it to suit your fancy. Have fun with it, get creative, and go for it. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take some clear plastic Dollar Tree party plates and some of these cute little party napkins. I got these off of the Mackenzie Childs website, but you guys can use any napkins you might have in your crafting stash. I'm going to take some Mod Podge and an old makeup brush and just Mod Podge some glue on them, and then take the napkin and just lay that down on the plate. I want to create kind of a cute little ornament that looks like a plate and then add a giant bow to the top. I actually started working on these crafts back in July. I had the idea to do this and I've been hanging on to this craft for so long, so I'm super excited to share this with you guys. Now I'm going to go around the edge of the plate with my Deco marker. I found these on Amazon. You can also find them on Michael's Craft Store, and this paint pen works amazing. You could also just use some gold paint, that will work as well. So Dollar Tree also carries, these are like a little cocktail size clear plate. I found this works really nicely. Also, I wanted to let you know that I did not peel the inner layer of the napkin off. I found that that made the napkin a little bit too thin. That was just my personal preference on this DIY. Now, I did find this snowman napkin on Amazon. And so you guys may want to check on Amazon for this, but Mackenzie Childs does have some really fun new holiday napkins out, or you guys can just look at Dollar Tree for holiday napkins as well. So have fun and go for it. Make this your own and just get creative, you guys. Look and see what you have in your stash. You could also do this craft with some pretty craft paper. It doesn't necessarily have to be a napkin. Also, if you don't have Mod Podge, you may even try just using some Elmer's glue. So this is just an idea. You guys take it and make your own. So again, I'm just using Mod Podge and then laying the napkin down and then adding a layer of Mod Podge on top of that. Now here's a fun little tip. If you guys pick up the really thin little party plates, you can actually use a hole puncher and just punch an ornament hole in the top. I wasn't able to do that with the really small cocktail plates, but there were some thinner little party plates that I was able to do that with. So you could just go basic and pop a little Dollar Tree ribbon in the top of that. That would be super fun. Or you could go super extra. You guys know me, I just love to go totally over the top. So I'm actually using some of this Mackenzie Childs ribbon. I had it left over from a Halloween DIY that I did. And a lot of you all ask me what I do with some of my seasonal DIYs. A lot of times I will take them apart and repurpose and reuse some of the ribbon. So this is one that I had taken apart and I'm repurposing and reusing this ribbon. So here's a little bow trick I'm going to share with you guys to make a tiny little bow. So you can just take a piece of scrap ribbon and just take and hot glue it end to end, add another little dab of hot glue and then pinch it in the center. And then you can take another bow, layer that on top of the bow, and then tie it off with a pipe cleaner. I hope this is making sense. It kind of creates like a little tuxedo bow, and then add that to whatever craft you're making. So this is just something to do a little bit extra. Now I have a tail cut right here, and then I'm just using that Dollar Tree ribbon to tie it off in the center. And then I'm also going to leave it a little bit extra long to make a hanger for my ornament. So fun and fabulous. And this was just a plate that was just a party plate from Dollar Tree. And they come in a stack of, I believe, 6 to 10. So think about how many ornaments you guys can make. And that snowman napkin had 2 snowmen on it. And so you guys can make a bunch. Even though the napkins are about $6 for a whole pack, there's a bunch of napkins in there. So really you guys can make about, probably 20 ornaments if you needed to make a ton of them. It would be a bit time consuming, but now I did take apart one of those Dollar Tree picks and I added some of the little ting and the little fancy goodies to the center. But this is a really high-end ornament, and if you've ever looked at the Mackenzie Childs website, you will know that their ornaments are really, 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 really expensive. And we made this for next to nothing, minus the plate and then the cost of the napkin and some pretty ribbon. The sky is the limit, you guys. Take this, run with it, make it your own, customize it to suit your decor colors. So, make it the colors that you're decorating with, whatever it be, whether it be pinks or golds or glam, winter wonderland, reds, whatever you love, customize it and make it your own and have fun with it. Get creative and again, go for it. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to make a super adorable Santa hat wreath. I'm going to take this witch hat wreath form from the Dollar Tree. This is from their Halloween section. So if you guys are shopping, go ahead and grab a couple. And I just want to take off the tinsel. And then I want to give you guys a little tip. Go ahead and trim those little edges off the top part. You're not going to need those on there. And then I'm going to take a roll of the Dollar Tree red deco mesh and then just a pipe cleaner, and I'm going to take the pipe cleaner and just pipe cleaner that deco mesh to the top. Now, not all Dollar Tree deco mesh is created equal. I will tell you that from the get-go. Some of their rolls have plenty of mesh on the roll and some of them do not. This one was really puny, so I ended up having to use 2 rolls of this deco mesh to cover the entire top of the witch frame. Usually I only have to use 1, but keep that in mind if you're doing this and recreating this craft. Now I was lucky enough to find some of the Dollar Tree deco mesh in the buffalo check plaid, and I am going to cut 8-inch cuts, and we're going to make bundles of the curly Q bundles. So go ahead and begin to cut strips here of 8 inches of your deco mesh. Now you guys can use any color that you love. And I will tell you that Walmart is going to carry this buffalo check deco mesh. Okay, so just a little side note in case you get in a panic and you have to have the buffalo check plaid mesh and you didn't find it at Dollar Tree, because Dollar Tree is not created equal either. Now I will tell you too, go ahead and cut those pipe cleaners in half because you don't need a full pipe cleaner for this project either. Once you have your little deco mesh cut, you can go ahead and roll them into little curly Q bundles, and you're going to use 3 curly Qs per bundle. So just roll them into like a little taco or burrito thing here, pinch them together, do a little happy dance once you have those 3 together, and then you can take your pipe cleaner and super easy peasy, watch right here, all you do is pinch it together and twist it up. This is nothing hard. I promise you guys can totally do this. Once you have your bundle made, you're just going to want to attach it to the outside of your witch's hat wreath form, and I like to attach mine to the center rung, and I also attach 3 bundles to the outside of the rung and then 5 bundles to the larger section. I'll also tell you that I used 5 rolls of deco mesh, and I'll also tell you that it helps to go ahead and pre-make up your bundles. That way you can just go ahead and attach everything all at the same time. put on a little show, make a cup of coffee, kick back, and just have fun, and then go ahead and begin to attach all of your bundles. So I went ahead and left this part in because a lot of people ask me how to assemble it. So here is me assembling it. So I start at the top and then I just work my way down. And again, I'm just using that center rung, and I poke the little pipe cleaner through, twist tie it around, clip it off in the back, and then turn it over, and I just keep working my way around. For the next part of this DIY, you guys know what's coming. We have to make a giant bow for our Santa hat wreath. I'm going to whip out my Easy Bow Maker, which truly makes bow making super easy. I bought mine on Amazon, but it's way cheaper at Michael's craft store. Use your coupon, or you can also find it on Deco Exchange. I'm using this Dollar Tree sparkling red holiday ribbon. It's going to shed like crazy and drive you bonkers. If you don't like glittery sequin ribbon, find something else to use. But I'm starting out and I'm using a 7-inch across. So if you have the Easy Bow Maker, you're just going to go 7 inches across either side. Then I'm using my Dollar Tree fall ribbon. Yes, they had buffalo check ribbon at Dollar Tree. Who knew? How fun and fabulous. You guys can see it's seen better days, but that's okay. It's going to be at the back of my bow. I do love to repurpose and reuse everywhere I can. Now I'm going in with this tartan plaid ribbon, which is going to be super hot this season. I will tell you, I ordered this off of Amazon and it is terrible quality. Also, I'm using some of the striped ribbon. It's left over from my Halloween crafting. I do try to repurpose and reuse as much ribbon as I can. That's going to save money on your crafting. So you don't have to buy new ribbon for every season. Take a look at what you already have. I'm also repurposing and reusing this red buffalo check plaid. It's super hot again this season. It's being shown at Walmart, Big Lots, and Pottery Barn. So you guys, it's in, like it or not, and I still love it. So now I'm using this Mackenzie Childs ribbon. It is my favorite this season. I absolutely love it. It's super expensive though. I bought it during the barn sale. So a little tip from me to you is buy a nicer ribbon and use it at the very front of your craft. It is the smallest ribbon in this. And I did keep these about the same size. I made them just a little bit smaller as I went along. So with the Easy Bow Maker, it just holds your bow right here in the center and you just go side to side with your ribbon. It's super easy. I did tie it off with a pipe cleaner in the center, and then I'm adding another ribbon from Dollar Tree to cover up my work. That's just going to give your work a little bit more of a boutique finish. Now there's a prong that's on that witch hat wreath, and I'm just going to tie my beautiful fluffy bow onto there. You can see I'm finding that prong, and then I also added some little baubles. Those were just some little Dollar Tree baubles from one of their picks. I cannot believe Dollar Tree is carrying picks. I also matched in a little bit of bow at the top and then added some poofs. That's just going to give my pretty little wreath some interest, and I am totally, absolutely crushing on it. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to do something fun and easy. I want to take some of these little Dollar Tree, they're just little hang tags. tags, and I believe they may be even chalkboard hang tags. I'm going to customize them to make them just customizable little gift tags. So I'm using this, it's a Primo marker, and I'm just adding names to the top of them, and then I'm using this pretty little gift paper. It has a little red truck. It's from Hobby Lobby. I just cut it out, and then I'm using some Mod Podge, but you could just use regular Elmer's glue. Surprisingly, I do not have any glue. I cannot find regular Elmer's glue in my stash, so I probably just need to pop on Amazon and order some. Anyway, I'm adding some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to pop this onto little hang tags. This is just a super easy peasy craft. Sometimes you just need to pop in some easy peasy crafts. So I'm also going to hot glue some little pom-poms to the top. Now these are pre-made pom-poms. I'm going to suggest you guys go ahead and grab some of these if you can. These were at Michael's on clearance. They were actually during the spring season, but they should still maybe have them. Maybe they're not on clearance, but they come in like an already pre-done roll. I'm really finding they're really awesome. You can also make pom-poms out of yarn, but look at how cute they look. Oh my goodness, I think they're super adorable. And again, you can customize these to suit your fancy, and they're going to look so adorable on my kiddos' packages. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take this Dollar Tree little package box, cardboard box, and I'm going to make a fake cake out of it. So I want to start out with the base of it, or actually it's the top, but I want to make it the base of my cake. And so I'm going to take this holiday ribbon, and I'm going to trim the edge of the box with the holiday ribbon. I'm going to trim around the entire thing with a dab of hot glue and add the sparkling ribbon. Then I'm going to take some of the peppermint candy cane Dollar Tree ribbon and layer that on top of it. I want it to be really fancy, like it's going to be a high-end cake. I want to make a 3-tiered cake, almost like it's a mini kind of, oh gosh, I don't know, wedding cake. So I'm taking this featherweight spackling. It's by DAP. And I will tell you that Dollar Tree also sells a featherweight spackling. It's in a little bit of a smaller container. I did buy this off of Amazon, and it was $7. And I bought a larger container because I'm buying all of my craft supplies online right now. I'm not going anywhere. And so I did just go ahead and do it this way. But you can find the featherweight spackling at Dollar Tree. So look for it there, or if you're like me and you're trying to buy things online, just go ahead and buy it online. And this is going to give you a lot of fun fake cakery that you can do. So I'm also taking this Dollar Tree craft tool. You can also just use a butter knife, whatever you have on hand, and you're going to begin to spread your spackling. It also can help, I have had people tell me that they add just a tiny bit of water, and that helps it spread a little bit easier. I don't add water to mine, and I do okay with it, but I do have to work around it quite a bit. The other thing I did was I took 2 ribbon rolls and I cut them apart just a bit, and then I added the spackling around them to make my second tier. So here is my second tier, and it looks like a hot mess. And then I also hot glued a piece of cardboard to the top where the hole was, and that way I could add the spackling to the top. But once I had my 3 tiers all together, they just stack on top of each other, and the spackling kind of holds them together. So take a deep breath, because the spackling can be a little bit tricky to work with. When you're starting out, you may just want to do 1 tier. That's just a little note from me to you. I have done these for the last couple of years. I don't do them that often, so I try to give myself some grace. I suggest you guys give yourself some grace always when you're crafting. Now, I'm taking some of the Dollar Tree candy cane ribbon, and I'm just going to wrap this around and then hot glue it from end to end, and that's going to hold it on there. The spackling also kind of holds it on there as well. I also have these cute little peppermints. I actually found these at a garage sale last season, and I just broke them apart, and I'm adding them to the top, and then I also hot glued a bunch of them to the base of my cake, and I'm thinking it's looking super adorable, fun, and fabulous, and it's going to go perfect in my Christmas crafting studio. And then once my house gets decorated for Christmas, I'm going to pop it into my kitchen, kind of in the little area where I make my hot cocoa station. in. I think it'll just be super duper adorable and oh so perfect. Now, this is the first time I've ever used this DAP Quick Seal. I've seen other crafters use it before, so I'm just going to be trying it out, but it was absolutely perfect. And I will tell you guys, try this out. I believe they sell some quick seal like this at Dollar Tree, but try this out because it's great to fill in those crevices. Because I will tell you, and you guys probably can't see it in the video, but if you look up close, I had a really hard time getting in really good with the spackling. So this was perfect to kind of fill in those edges. And if my hand was steadier, I could probably make some like really pretty swirly things. My hands got pretty tired today. I do have neuropathy in my hands, so I wasn't able to make as pretty of swirlies as I wanted, but here's how it turned out. And you guys, I think it looks really cute. Okay, it's not perfect, but hey, we're giving ourselves grace today and we're going for it, and it just looks perfect in my Christmas crafting studio, and I think it's a delicious fake cake treat. Now, it's calorie free and absolutely wonderful, fun and fabulous, and oh so great. I think everyone will be delighted to have one. What do you guys think? Comment down below if you guys like to make some fake cake tricks. I think this year too we should try to make some fake cookies. I've never tried them, but let me know what you guys use. I think maybe people use clay to make the fake cookies, so we'll have to check that out. Maybe I'll look online. If you guys make fake cookies, drop a comment down below and let me know what's the best thing and the most inexpensive thing to use, because you guys know I like to do things on a budget. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to repurpose and reuse those Deco mesh rolls that I shared with you guys how to make the Deco mesh Santa hat wreath. I always save my Deco mesh rolls. I also like to use toilet paper rolls to make these, but I just make little Christmas ornaments by taking some ribbon. And this is also a great way to repurpose and reuse like scrap pieces of ribbon, but I'm just taking the ribbon and I'm wrapping it around the Deco mesh roll. You could also use scrap fabric. The other thing is it's a great way to add decor in to your Christmas decorating that's going to match. So, you know, if you're trying to match in and make a theme happen, which is kind of what I'm trying to do with this. So I'm using the buffalo check plaid, and then I'm adding little pom-poms onto here. And I really don't even know what this might actually be called, except for we're just making like a cute little poofy pom-pom Christmas ornament. That's what we're going to call it, is poofy pom-pom Christmas ornament. So I'm adding little poofy pom-poms onto here, and I found the pom-poms. They were actually on a roll at Michael's on clearance. Super fun and fabulous, but you guys can always make these out of yarn. I'm just tying a cute little shoelace bow with some Dollar Tree inexpensive ribbon, and a shoelace bow is just a bow that you use to tie your shoelace with. So just like you tie your shoelace, that's a fun and easy little bow. Pop that on to your pom-pom ornament, and you have a very fun and easy ornament. And this would be a great craft for kiddos. Always remember though to help them if you're using a hot glue gun. You could actually, now that I'm looking at this, you could maybe even make this into somewhat of a person. I'm looking at this upside down while I'm doing this voiceover, just thinking out loud. Okay, let's just keep them as a pom-pom ornament. Anyway, my mind does crazy things. So I'm also thinking that this is a fun little kind of tartan plaid ornament over here. And again, I'm just mixing this and matching this with some of the fabric scraps that I had left over. I also used some of that Dollar Tree table scatter and added some little stars to it. These are fun to also pop into a hot cocoa mug. See, I have my little vintage Santa hot cocoa mug. I found that at a thrift store last year. You guys, thrift stores are so awesome. For the first Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a super adorable Farm Fresh Christmas tree sign. I'm starting out with these Halloween signs, and I'm going to use my Waverly white chalk paint and chalk paint 2 coats onto these signs. You can do a front and back. That will make it a really nice project. Or if you're taking a shortcut and trying to do it really quickly, you may leave the back unpainted like me. No, seriously, it is good to go ahead and paint the back of this. Now I'm going in with these popsicle sticks, and I'm just hot gluing them crosswise and then up and down. That is going to secure both of my signs to each other. I also want to note, do not panic if you do not have the Farm Fresh Christmas tree calendar or the Farmer's Fresh Market calendar. I am going to leave some printables with links down below for a Farm Fresh Christmas tree sign. So don't panic, you can still do this craft. The next step is I'm going to take this Mod Podge and I'm just going to Mod Podge my little Farm Fresh Christmas tree sign or calendar piece onto the front of my large sign. So I've taken 2 large Dollar Tree signs, and really if you guys have the Easter signs left over, or you have the Halloween signs, or even you might have some in your stash all the way back from Valentine's Day if you're a crazy crafter like me, or maybe you just have an old board laying around. This is a great project to repurpose and reuse. You could also use a piece of poster board if you don't have any boards. So I'm just trying to kind of give you guys some creative ideas on how to get around maybe not having these exact signs. I'm also adding a layer of Mod Podge over the top of my sign. I will tell you, if you all are using this calendar, you can slightly see through the calendar part. That does not bother me in the least. So if you're really picky about that, you may want to just use a printable. Again, I'll link those down in the description box below. Okay, so now I'm going to take this twine and I'm just going to wrap some twine around the end of my sign. Originally, I was going to stop there with the twine, but you will see as we go along that I get pretty crazy and creative and over the top with this. So after I added the Dollar Tree twine, I decided to add in some of the Dollar Tree evergreen to each side of the sign. This is just Dollar Tree garland evergreen. It's a little bit puny, so you're going to see that I'm going to jazz this up. Now, what I love to do before Christmas really gets rocking and rolling, I have a lot of gifts under my tree. I like to decorate underneath my tree with signs. So this is my idea behind this sign. This would also make a great sign for a mantelpiece, and I basically just wrapped this garland around and then tucked it underneath. I didn't even hot glue it. The next thing I want to do is take some of this beautiful tartan ribbon. It's actually off of Amazon. It came in a huge roll and it was pretty price friendly. But I will tell you that the ribbon is pretty puny. Also, a lot of you all ask where I buy ribbon. I would suggest actually to buy ribbon at Hobby Lobby. They have pretty decent quality ribbon for a pretty good price, especially if you get it when it's 40% off. Always look for wired ribbon, especially if you're going to be making bows. It's really going to help your ribbon stand up and look really pretty and fluffy. So check for Hobby Lobby and try to get it in 25 to 50 yards if you're going to be doing a lot of decorating and a lot of bow making. That's just my little tip from me to you. So for this ribbon, I just made a couple of little loops and hot glued them to the top and off to the left of my little Farm Fresh Christmas tree sign. Now, if you like a basic, simple look, you know, stop with just the sign part or maybe stop with just the evergreen, but I'm going over the top and also almost making this into somewhat of kind of a wreath decor piece. I'm taking this Dollar Tree leftover fall ribbon. Believe it or not, they had a buffalo check plaid ribbon for fall. They're really stepping up their game on some of their ribbon selection, so I was super excited to find that, and I held some of it back for Christmas. The next thing I wanted to share with you guys is they're showing a lot of lamb's ear for Christmas decor. I know Walmart is putting it out, as well as some of the craft stores. So if you like that farmhouse look, think about mixing some lamb's ear or some of your spring and summer greenery in with your evergreen greenery. I think it's a great way to repurpose and reuse and also add dimension into your Christmas greenery. Always kind of think outside the box, and especially if you already have that on hand, I always really love to encourage you guys to use what you have on hand. Now, I took some of the ribbon tails and then pulled them down to the other side. I'm just hot gluing as I go. So I'm also adding in some more lamb's ear to this side, and I honestly have been using this same piece of lamb's ear. It was all the way back from spring. I do take apart my projects when I'm done with them, store the ribbons in little rolls. I actually use toilet paper rolls and then pull them out for the next season, and they mostly stay good to go. So a lot of you ask how I store my crafts. I
take them apart, store them, and just trim off the little gluey spots. I'm adding more of the tartan ribbon to this side so it will go in with the other side. I also have some of this pitberry garland left over from the Dollar Tree fall decor. Now, last but not least, I am adding some of this Mackenzie Childs ribbon in. I'm ordering it off of Amazon. It is all sold out on their website. It is very expensive, but a little tip from me to you: add a tiny bit of high-end ribbon to your decor pieces just at the front part. So use your cheaper ribbon to fill it out in the back, and then add a tiny bit of really nice ribbon. That's going to zhuzh up your projects and give them that really high-end look without having to use a ton of the high-end ribbon. Or you can just go with your budget-friendly ribbon. That's okay too. You guys have fun with it. Go for it. Use what you have on hand and just go for it. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take these Halloween witch legs. I did pick up a couple of extra ones, and I'm going to chalk paint them with 2 coats of my Waverly white chalk paint, and I'm going to let them dry really nicely. And what I want to do is make some elf kind of slash Santa Mrs. Claus boots. So now that I have them chalk painted, I can faintly see through the chalk paint, and I'm just going to use my Sharpie marker and outline the part of my boot that I want to paint. That's going to help give me a guideline to where I want to paint. A lot of you will ask me the kind of paints that I use. I am currently hooked on the Arteza brand craft paints. They are a little bit more expensive. That's just my personal choice. You all can also use the Apple Barrel craft paint from Walmart if you're a beginner and you don't want to spend very much on paint. Dollar Tree also carries acrylic craft paint. So use what's in your budget. It really doesn't have to be an expensive paint, especially if you're just a beginner painter, but have fun with it, go for it. And I'm starting out by painting these cute little red and white elf stripes. Now for my boot, the little top cuff there, I decided to add some checks with some black and white checks. I am doing somewhat of a Mackenzie Child inspired Christmas, so you guys know I had to put a little bit of that flair in there. Also keep this in mind, whatever color palette you're choosing for your personal Christmas decor, use those colors to paint your boot with. So maybe you're choosing purple or champagne or pink or blues for your Christmas. Visualize that in your head, how this boot would look, and change out the colors. So instead of doing red stockings, you would do your colors with the stockings. Instead of doing a red boot, you would do your colors for the boot. I know a lot of you all have been posting over in my Facebook group page your different take on the pink witches boot that I did for Halloween. Also pop back over to that Halloween DIY. I did a totally pink Halloween DIY and I did a repaint on those boots. So you guys could also use that idea for a pink Christmas. Just some little thoughts there. Now I am going in with some gold paint to do the buckle, and also I absolutely love this gold Deco color paint pen. I ordered some off of Amazon, but you guys can also get them at Michael's Craft Store and use your coupon. I had been at home for almost 2 weeks now, so I've been doing a lot of ordering off of Amazon for all of my crafting supplies. But if you guys can notice the difference on the boot over to the left side that I finished versus this boot, it looks a lot more polished. So using this gold paint pen to kind of finish things up really helps. Also, when I paint my checks, I do try to do kind of that Mackenzie Child style where they drag their paintbrush with some gold and some white through their black black checks. Now I'm going in with some details by adding in just a little bit of white and black. So think about that, doing some highlighted details. That's just going to make your work look that more boutique, gorgeous on a budget. I almost forgot to mention that I did use a Dollar Tree sponge brush and just sponge brushed some polka dots onto my little elf legs, the topper part. I don't know how much you're really going to see on that part because I'm going to put my elf legs coming out from the side of my Christmas tree, kind of like Santa Claus has landed or the elf has landed and they're sticking out. I also think it would be fun to make an oversized Santa sack and put the elf legs popping out of the Santa sack. So those are the two ideas for how I'm actually going to display these once Christmas comes into my home. And so many of you all ask me too what I do with all of my DIYs. I decorate my home with them. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this beautiful kind of plastic serving platter and I want to make a decorated Czech serving platter. So I'm just going to take this white spray paint. I like to use a flat white spray paint and I also like to use the Rust-Oleum 2X. I used 2 coats on this and let it dry thoroughly. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take some painter's tape and gently put it down on top of this and then just draw lines through the center part. I'm then going to remove the painter's tape and begin to draw more lines. You could also just cut a piece of cardboard to fit if you didn't want to use the tape, because I did have one spot where the tape pulled the paint up, but that's really not that big of a deal because I am going to be painting over the majority of these checks. I am doing a checkerboard pattern, so you want to run your lines down one way and run them down the other way. If you didn't care for the checkerboard pattern, you could always just do candy stripes. That's another fun idea. So my idea for this is kind of to do like a good old-fashioned grandma's kitchen red, white, and green. I'm starting out with my red paint and I kind of mixed it with like a dark red and a light red to kind of just get this fun traditional Christmas red. And I'm going in and I'm doing the red and then I'm skipping 2 and then doing another red check. I am going to add a green check to this and create a bit of a pattern here. Now keep in mind, as always, I suggest that you all do the colors that you will be decorating with for Christmas. So maybe you're doing champagne and pink for your Christmas decor. Paint your checks in those colors. Maybe you're going to be doing blue and gold. Paint your checks in those colors. So this is how I'm going to be decorating my home, but you guys take this and run with it. Now you're going to see my daughter popping in here. She actually helped me figure out the pattern on this because I don't usually do a 3-part pattern here. So she decided to help me, and you're going to see her kind of make dots for me so I knew exactly where to paint because I didn't want to jump pattern. So I did the red, green, and white, and then she was kind of suggesting, okay, here's what we need to do. We need to line these out. And so she was so sweet. She took a little paintbrush and she just ended up adding dots for me to be able to follow. You can see her arm in there, helping me figure this out. And I don't know why my brain was befuddled. We were trying to figure out the easiest way to do the pattern on here without messing it up. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so here she is helping me out, and now she's going to just dot down. And I suggest doing that, especially if you do more than like every other one. And that really helped me not jump the pattern. So I did add 2 coats of my red and green checks, and I did drag a little bit of the white and gold paint through the red and green checks. Here is the finished product. I added these cute little vintage teapots to it, and then my Mackenzie Childs mug and a little faux muffin. I love these faux muffins to decorate with for any holiday, really, and I'll leave some of them in my Amazon store. So many goodies for you guys there. Also, seal it with some Mod Podge. It doesn't make it food safe, but it will make it to where you guys can, set a little tea party setting up with some faux goodies and just have fun with it. The next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take some Dollar Tree scarves and then some of these little Dollar Tree wooden triangle decor pieces and then some little Dollar Tree. They're just like little wooden pieces you get in the crafters section, and I'm going to remove the backing from the triangle decor pieces. Now, if you cannot find these, you could always just make the little triangles with some popsicle sticks or some paint sticks. The next thing I'm going to do is add some hot glue to the base of my little triangle. And then this is just a remnant of a scarf that we had left over from our first round of Christmas DIYs. I always save all my scraps. Comment and let me know if you guys are there with me on being a scrappy crafter. Sometimes it gets me into trouble. I have like an overwhelming amount of scraps. But anyway, then you're just going to run glue down the other sides of your triangle pieces. Also, I want to let you know that you don't necessarily have to have the triangle piece backing. I tried it by just gluing the fabric to the actual triangle, and that worked too. So just a little side note to kind of help you create this if maybe you didn't have the triangle and you had to just go with the popsicle sticks or the paint stick idea. Now that I have this covered in a scarf, I'm just going to go ahead and replace this or add this back on with some hot glue. Don't use too much hot glue because you don't want it to like seep through and be all gluey. Just use a tiny amount. You also might want to use a dab of E6000 to get like a really good hold on there. It seemed like the hot glue held pretty good though. And then you're going to have to make sure that when you choose your little wooden pieces that they're flat enough. So I had to kind of go through the wooden pieces and make sure that they were even because they're not all the same size. So now I'm going to pop my little triangle back on here, and voila, I have a super adorable little kind of farmhouse-esque wooden Christmas tree. And I got the idea. I was watching somebody do a shop with me at Walmart, and they have these decor pieces at Walmart, and they're definitely more than $1 and some change. And really, you guys could use any fabric you might have laying around. If you don't have fabric, you could use some of your scrapbooking paper. So I'm just sharing with you guys different ideas. I used this kind of Mackenzie Childs inspired fabric. I got that at Hobby Lobby. This third one that I'm doing is just a Dollar Tree scarf. And then I even wanted to show some of you shabby chic gals a way to do a shabby chic tree. I have some of the little wrapping paper that's in that pretty rose fabric over to the side. You guys can use that as well. So I'm really trying to give everybody a lot of different options and a lot of different color palettes. So just think outside the box and remember to customize this to suit your fancy. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I found these super adorable little mini signs, and it looks like one of them was like a bridal sign, and then the other one just says keep that same energy. The little signs actually pop out super easily, and my idea is just to chalk paint the front. I don't really need either one of these signs, so chalk painting over them is going to be the solution for me. You could also just turn it over if you wanted to save that original sign and just work from the back. So I chalk painted them with 2 coats of chalk paint with the Waverly White chalk paint. And then I'm just taking some fun little Dollar Tree stickers. I love their felt stickers. I think they're so fun. And what I want to make is some oversized Christmas ornaments. So I do a really big tree in my living room, and I like to use really oversized big ornaments. And I think using framed kind of little funsy ornaments like this always brings that pop of color and fun, and it helps fill out your tree and make it like really boutique gorgeous. And also the Dollar Tree stickers are so great to use because they come really sticky, so no hot glue required. This would be a great craft for kids. And if you guys can't find these exact frames, just use a regular picture frame, easy peasy. Now this little gingerbread would be fun, so here's one idea. You guys could use the gingerbread sticker and then some of the little stocking stickers, or you guys could use the little Santa sticker. Now these actually don't have the big amount of sticky that those felt ornaments had, so you'd have to be careful if you had kiddos helping you with this to have help them with the glue gun. But I decided to go for the Santa with the little stockings. I thought that'd be really cute just because I haven't used the Santa head yet in a DIY, and I just think he's so fun and festive. And here's how they came out. Oh my goodness, such an easy fun craft. I think sometimes it's fun just to do something easy and simple, and I think they came out really good. I think they would definitely be about $5 to $7 in a more high-end store, especially with the little wooden handle, which is super trendy, especially if you're doing farmhouse decor. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to make a splatter screen Christmas ornament. One of you all had requested that you had an extra splatter screen, and so you just take a splatter screen from Dollar Tree. You're going to need 2 rolls of Deco mesh and then some little floral wire, and you're going to start out by taking your floral wire and attaching your first piece of Deco mesh to the top of your splatter screen. The trickiest part of doing these is kind of getting the Deco mesh around the edge. So you're going to kind of pull it around and then take another piece of floral wire down at the base and just add that on. And then you're going to wind it around, and you're going to have to attach it again at the base with another piece of floral wire. So just keep twisting and kind of using those tiny pieces of floral wire to get that attached to the base. Once you guys have that part finished, you're going to double up kind of on the mesh to where you cannot see the splatter screen edges. And then you're just going to kind of wrap that around your splatter screen. So for this splatter screen, the Dollar Tree Deco mesh covered one roll covered 1/2 of the splatter screen. I hope that gives you guys a reference point. All the Dollar Tree Deco mesh though is not created equal. Sometimes there's a little bit more on one roll and a little bit less on another roll. So here's hoping for the best and you guys get some rolls that are a little bit equal. If you can't find Dollar Tree Deco mesh, just grab some at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, or pretty much wherever you guys can find some, and you'll probably have to use less rolls because there's usually more rolls on the nicer mesh. Also, if you have a problem with the Dollar Tree Deco mesh fraying, you just have to kind of go for it and trim off the frays as best as possible. Listen, it's $1. It's not the most high quality, but have fun with it. It's just a Christmas craft and it's only a couple of dollars. So continue to wrap your little splatter screen, and then you can attach it once you get to the end of your roll with some little floral wire. So So you can really skip attaching that center part because it's going to stay on there pretty well. But then as you can see, now that I'm down to this last part, you can tuck it under, but then you're still going to want to run like a little piece of wire down at the base and attach that last piece. And now I'm attaching the second roll. So again, I have a little piece of wire and I'm just using like a little tiny piece. You're not going to be able to see it because you're going to wrap that deco mesh over it. So basically you just want to deco mesh this thing to the gills. Try to also pull your deco mesh as tight as possible. And then once you're all the way to the end, you can trim it off and you're good to go. And now comes the super duper fun part. Now here's an easy bow. Take your arm, measure the length of your bow from your hand to your elbow. This is so easy. Once you have that done, just take the ribbon and loop it over on itself. You wrap it over on itself until you have 3 loops on either side. And you guys can watch me count. I'm counting to see that I have 3 layers on each side of my bow or ribbon. Once I have all my layers of ribbon, I'm just going to trim off the ribbon and then find the center of the ribbon and then cut little itty bitty tiny notches in the center of my ribbon, just very, very tiny notches. Also, I did get this ribbon at Hobby Lobby, not at Dollar Tree. So you can get a giant roll though, you guys, at Hobby Lobby for like $9.99, and it's a ton of ribbon. And always use wired ribbon when you're making your bows. Now I'm going to begin to pull and twist my ribbon loops out. So see how I'm pulling and then twisting those ribbon loops out? That's going to give you that really nice boutique, beautiful bow. And I just tied off my bow in the center with a pipe cleaner. Super easy. That pipe cleaner is going to attach it to the top of my cute little splatter screen. Also, the handle of the splatter screen I just bent down, and that's what's using to hold my splatter screen up. So it's not the most sturdy piece of decor, so don't put this in like a high traffic area where it's going to be flopping over a lot. You may even want to put like a little weight. So you can see there's the handle of the splatter screen. That's going to be the bottom of your ornament. You could also keep the splatter screen straight and just hang this and put the bow at the top. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm just taking some of those little Dollar Tree kind of ting pieces, and then I tied a double looped shoelace bow. A shoelace bow is just a bow that you use to tie your shoelaces. I'm going in with some Dollar Tree mini ornaments. I'm adding a giant glob of hot glue to the center of this, and then I'm just attaching those mini ornaments. Also, I used a couple little mini candy cane ornament pieces that I just broke apart from a larger piece. You can get those at Hobby Lobby, and then this larger candy cane ornament is from Walmart. So super easy peasy. How fun and fabulous is this? It looks like a giant plume of an ornament, and we did this on such a small budget. Okay, as always, I ask that you guys comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. I am absolutely crushing on all of the DIYs you guys have been posting over my Livy's Romantic Home Facebook group page. It's totally free. Pop over there, join. We have such a fun little crafty community, and you guys just make my heart sparkle and shine. Check this out. For the first Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take a plunger and 4 Dollar Tree Christmas trees, and I'm going to begin by attaching the Dollar Tree Christmas trees to the top of the plunger with my hot glue gun. I next decided to add in some of these Dollar Tree pine cone picks. So total, I used 4 of the green Dollar Tree mini Christmas trees and then 4 of the little pine cone picks. Now you could use pretty much any pick, or you could leave out the pick if you wanted. What I want to create is kind of a blooming Christmas tree centerpiece, something that you would see in a really nice high-end boutique. The next step to this DIY is you're going to take some burlap or really any ribbon that you have on hand, and you're going to hot glue it to the top of your tree and then wind it down to the base, flip your plunger inside out and plunge it into your little Dollar Tree silver bucket. The next thing you want to do is add in in some rocks or something weighted into your bucket because the trees do make it a little bit heavy at the top. Then I wanted to take 2 pieces of the Dollar Tree styrofoam and then just pop those into my bucket. And then I added a little bit of moss and some hot glue to get my moss to stay. And that was going to give my tree just some added bit of zhuzh to the base of the tree. Now, speaking of zhuzhing, this is the part of the DIY that you really need to dig your hands in to the center part of this tree and zhuzh these branches out. That's going to make your centerpiece look really fun and fabulous and much more realistic. So really work those branches nicely. Now, Dollar Tree is carrying these large pine cones. I went ahead and popped a couple of them in. I also popped in a package of the Dollar Tree cedar picks. Can you believe Dollar Tree is carrying so many fabulous designer inspired decor pieces? I have just been over the moon with their choices. I also popped in some little red berries. Now I actually got these from Walmart, as well as 2 of these poinsettia picks. They're little buffalo check plaid. They're 98 cents at Walmart. Run to your local Walmart and grab some before they sell out. Now the next part of this DIY, I'm going to make a quick little easy bow with my easy bow maker. This easy bow maker is available at Amazon, Michael's Craft Store, or the cheapest place is Deco Exchange or Michael's Craft Store. Use your coupon. I don't sell them. I just love it because it makes it easy, especially if you have problems with your hands like I do. Now I'm starting out and I'm making a rather small bow. I'm going 4 inches on either side with my bow, and then I'm going even smaller with the loops. So just barely an inch smaller until I get to the very smallest. So 4, 3, and almost like 2. So it really got really small at the very end, but my tree really isn't that big. I didn't want to overwhelm the tree with too big of a bow. Now I'm taking my pipe cleaner and tying it off, and I believe I only made about 3 loops for this bow. I know, surprising. I usually make 5 to 6, but here it is. Again, I didn't want it to be too totally crazy, but you guys go for it. Use whatever ribbon you have on hand. Now I will recommend that you go ahead and go to Hobby Lobby. You can shop online or in store, and they have 50-yard rolls of ribbon. That's going to get you really far if you're doing a lot of decor pieces with ribbon, and it's only about $9.99, and you can use your coupon and get it for about $5. So that is going to give you a lot of life with your ribbon work. So I'm just tying it on to my little centerpiece here, and check it out. You guys, how cute is this with the buffalo check plaid picks at the top? Really, you guys even could make some little poinsettia picks, which I'm actually going to show you how to DIY those in a couple of DIYs in this video. But how fun and fabulous, and nobody would know that this is a Dollar Tree plunger and a couple of those mini trees and some pine cones. This is a very fabulous decor piece on a teeny tiny budget. It would be perfect next to your Christmas mantle, or maybe a centerpiece of your dining room table, just really anywhere that you wanted to spruce something up. Do it on a budget, and you guys could even pick up some little goodies here and there, or maybe you have some things already in your stash that would help you keep it budget friendly. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a super adorable pumpkin snowman. So I'm repurposing this Dollar Tree carvable pumpkin by chalk painting it white. I used 2 layers of chalk paint. I like the Waverly white chalk paint. You can grab it at Walmart. And then I'm using 2 of the Dollar Tree velvet pumpkins. Now I wanted my pumpkins to all have the same matching texture. So I'm taking this Dollar Tree. It's just snow covering. It's just that really thin kind of cheap fabric that you would use maybe like in a snow village or a little village, or underneath as a tree skirt. So I'm just going to take that, and after my carvable pumpkin had dried, I'm just going to add a dab of hot glue and then pop that in to the center part kind of my carvable pumpkin. It'll kind of fit down in there, but you may need to add just a little dab of hot glue. Be careful. Sometimes it's easy to burn your fingers when you're working with these pumpkins. Trust me. And then I'm just going to add another little dab of hot glue. I'm going to remove the stem of my velvet pumpkin. And again, I did want the same texture on these pumpkins. So that's why I'm covering this, even though the velvet pumpkin was already kind of a white color. This, of course, is optional. Now, I will suggest that you remove the velvet off of it. That way it'll be kind of less stuffy. I did that on my third pumpkin and it seemed to work a little bit better, but kind of trial and error here. Now I'm adding a generous layer of hot glue, and I'm just going to hot glue my first layer. So there's my carvable pumpkin is the first layer, and then my velvet pumpkin, and then my velvet pumpkin on top of that. Now I'm adding another generous layer of hot glue, and then I'm going to top this with one of those little Dollar Tree buffalo check plaid ornaments. They have the cutest ornaments, and I shared that with you guys in my Dollar Tree Christmas haul. Go back and watch that if you guys want to see some of the items I'm going to be crafting with. Now the next thing I'm using is this little Dollar Tree felt snowman kit. You get this in the crafting section, and it has all the little parts to create a snowman, and it's perfect to make your own snowman. I like to use it on my projects because it already has everything already. So I'm using the eyes and the nose and the little felt hands out of this, and then I'm going to put the other stuff aside because I'll probably end up using it for later. Now I'm just using this little Dollar Tree scarf, and I've cut it up into bits, and I'm just going to wrap it around my little snowman's neck here, or lady. It could be a man or a lady, just depending on what you guys think, and maybe we should give her or him a name. I also decided to use a tiny bit of the Mackenzie Childs ribbon. You guys know I'm totally crushing on that, and I will be using some of this ribbon on one of my Christmas trees, so I'll be incorporated into some of my DIYs as well. Now I'm attaching the arms, and they are felt, so they kind of had a little bit of a hard time. I may need to poke like a little shish kebab stick back behind them to get them to stay up just a little bit better. But then I just hot glued those, and then I added a little bit of some little pom-pom balls to the end of my snow person's scarf, just to give it a little bit of interest. And this is where it gets really fun when you're doing these snow people. In my opinion, you can just get really creative and add bows and buttons and trims and just really give them all kinds of pizzazz. Have your kiddos help you with this. You can just have so much fun. And I think that these would be really fun, especially too if you were doing like an arts and crafts show to personalize these or just make them fun and fabulous. So you can see that I added like some little pom-poms, and again, think about adding a little bit of high-end ribbon maybe to your snow person's hat, and you can see I kind of tried to create like a little vest for my snow person just to have fun with him and just give him that little bit of extra zhuzhy fun factor. I also have to give a shout out to my sweet friend Laura, who shared with me the inspiration to create this cute little snowman. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to make a poinsettia out of ribbon. So what you want to do is get the Dollar Tree ribbon, and I love this stiff plaid ribbon, but you can really use any ribbon that you want. And in fact, this ribbon doesn't even have wire in it. So just choose any ribbon that you love. And then once you have your ribbon cut, and for this poinsettia, I actually cut it in about 8 to 9 inch strips. And then what I'm doing is I'm cutting little points in the end. So you can just take your ribbon and you fold it in half, and then you cut in an upward angle. So you want a little point on the end of your ribbon. And then once you have all of your ribbon cut, you can take your ribbon and you just kind of want to do an accordion back and forth and back and forth. And this is a great craft for kiddos. Have them use child scissors, and I'm using my little easy bow maker just to kind of hold my little accordion pieces, but you guys could easily just use a soup can to hold your ribbon down, or you could use a chip clip. That would work as well. Or you could even, take your pipe cleaner and just begin to pipe cleaner them together, whatever works for you. So you can see that I'm just accordioning all of my little pieces of ribbon here. So again, this is super fun and easy to do, and this makes such a great poinsettia. I think I maybe used like 7 pieces here. It doesn't have to be exact by any means. Dig into your ribbon stash. It's also a great way to repurpose and reuse ribbon, or use up maybe ribbon that you already have in your stash. Now, once you have your accordion pieces how you like them, you tie them off with a pipe cleaner, dig into your stash, and you can go ahead and just add some bits and bobs. I'm choosing some little Dollar Tree craft beads. I had some green ones, and then also some little pearls. And check it out. how adorable did this come out. You can put them on a clip and just clip them into your Christmas trees. You can add them to a brooch. There are so many uses for these. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a snowman using these Dollar Tree pumpkin signs. So I'm taking my white Waverly chalk paint, which I buy at Walmart. I love it. It has the best coverage and the drying time is so fast. I'm almost out of it, so I'm having to dump it out from the bottom. Oh, and Walmart just does not want to restock it. It drives me nuts. Anyway, I gave it 2 coats and then I let it dry about 20 minutes in between. And then once it had dried, I'm taking the smallest pumpkin at the top and I'm just going to go ahead and paint my little snowman eyes. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I do paint upside down and I'm beginning to wonder if I'm going to start painting upside down from now on. Like, am I going to be able to paint normally? Anyway, so it's after I'm done painting, I do notice sometimes that my faces are a little bit wobbly, but I'm starting out painting my eyes black and I'm just doing kind of like little half moon circles and I'm painting the underside of them black and then I go in with like a little bit of white at the top. It's helpful if you go on Pinterest and just Google how to paint eyes or how to paint like cartoon eyes. I'm painting a cute little carrot nose and then just some little dots for the mouth. So I hope that helps you guys. I am not any kind of fabulous artist as far as like being able to paint faces super awesome, but hopefully you guys can learn from me and maybe you guys can give me some tips and all of that fun stuff. So I'm adding a little bit of white to the eyes and then I also do like to just add, you know, a little bit of black underneath some more and then add that dot in the center. And that can give you kind of some fun eyes. And I'm sure we'll all look back at this video as I go along and say, hey, she really finally learned to paint some eyes a couple of years down the road. But I think we're going for it. I think they look fun and I'm overcoming my fear. I've always had such a fear of painting faces. I think more than anything, you guys, I suggest you just overcome your fear and try it out. It might be better than you think. So I'm overcoming my fear, sharing it with you guys. So thanks for being patient with me. Now I did paint some cute little pink cheeks, which I always want my little DIYs to be really happy and fun. I'm adding some hot glue at the base of my pumpkin to glue it together. This pumpkin will be inside, but if your pumpkin's going to be outside, they make a product called Never Wet, and that might seal your pumpkin. Now, if you live in a really humid area, Dollar Tree signs really aren't that great to be putting outside. I'm just going to throw that out there for you guys. I would just keep my hand painted stuff inside because it takes a lot of work and I would hate for you guys to have things melt. Anyway, I'm adding this little Dollar Tree snow hat. I did stuff it with some pillow stuffing to kind of give it, you know, something to stand up to. I may go back in and add maybe some paint sticks. It kind of was a little bit floppy. And then I also have this little Dollar Tree buffalo check plaid scarf. Now I will tell you guys, when you're out shopping at Dollar Tree, they put out these buffalo check plaid scarves sometimes in the summer. I don't know if my stores are just as random as yours are, but if you can't find things sometimes in the winter, keep your eyes out during the summer and the spring. Truly, it's so random what you find at Dollar Tree. You just never know. And also, Hobby Lobby and Walmart carries buffalo check plaid fabric. So if you can't find it at Dollar Tree, don't panic. You can get this fabric pretty much anywhere. Now, I'm taking some little Dollar Tree plastic spoons. They come 2 for $1, a 2-pack, and I'm just gluing some spoons on for arms. I had these left over from a craft I was going to do last summer, never did it, and thankfully I held on to them. I hold on to a lot of stuff. I'm trying to do better about using what I have, so I felt really proud of myself today. But anyway, so I just glued them onto the back and now my snowman has arms. Now I did add some of those little Dollar Tree gloves just to give her some gloves, and then I added some little peppermint candy things for buttons. The peppermint candy things, they come like on a big strand of them. I think they're from Hobby Lobby. I found them at a garage sale, but I did see them at Hobby Lobby and you just cut them apart. So what do you guys think about my snow lady, snow person, snowman? I think we should name him or her. So fun and fabulous and not bad for only a couple of dollars. For For the next DIY, my daughter and I actually are going to do a DIY for you guys, and we picked up a bag of ornaments at the thrift store. It was $3 for the entire bag. I'm pretty sure that these ornaments are from Dollar Tree. They're shatterproof, and we just took some chalk paint and chalk painted them white. It was over the weekend, and we just did a whole bunch of them together. She's such a trooper. This is kind of a tedious project to chalk paint ornaments. We only chalk painted one layer of chalk paint on them, and then once that was done, I went in with a detailed brush. She wasn't down for this detail part, so I just went ahead and did this part, but I wanted to give them kind of like a Mackenzie Childs striped look, and so I'm using my smaller brush and I'm just painting stripes on them. I will suggest that you guys take like a Sharpie and draw stripes on. That will give you something to follow as a guide. I could not find my Sharpie to demonstrate that part, but that is actually how I did the majority of these ornaments when I did them over the weekend. So just a little side note for you guys on that. Also, I did try to do some check ones, and the checks were very hard to do with this ornament that already had stripes that were kind of naturally in here. And also, if you don't care for the black and white, then you guys use a different paint for colors that you're doing in your decor. So if you're decorating for red and white Christmas, do red and white stripes. Or if you're decorating for pink, do pink or purple or green or whatever colors you love, you guys go for that. I'm just giving you guys an idea with some ones that I'm maybe doing in my tree. So I'm also adding some bows to it, and then here is how it looked popped into just some little Dollar Tree. These little sweater ornaments are so gorgeous. I love these. I think Dollar Tree did such a great job with these. Now, I will tell you that they're not very good quality. I'm going to have to go back in and glue some of the sweater pieces back on there, but they look so high end and like something you would see at Pottery Barn. In my opinion, I think they just looked really nice. Now for the next DIY, I'm actually going to take this poinsettia plant. It was from Walmart. They're $4.97. And this little buffalo check Dollar Tree tree skirt. It's like a little mini tree skirt. It was sent to me by a sweet friend. What I want to do is I want to flip it over and take it and make it into like a customized little thing to go around this plant. So I didn't really care for, the silvery stuff that went around that poinsettia plant. Now, it's fine if you guys love that, that's fine. But I wanted to customize this and make it a little bit more high end, something you would see at a boutique. And everything inside of me says put a giant red bow on it. Speaking of adorable, check out BINGE Bear. He has been popping into my craft studio lately, and normally he's scared to come out there. I don't know if it's the bright lights or just the craziness that goes on out here, but he has been popping out here. So if you guys see me talking to somebody, I'm talking to my puppy dog. So anyway, as always, I ask that you guys comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video. And if you all love one of these DIYs, which one will you be all recreating? And what crafts are you working on right now? So the secret question of today is are you still fall crafting, or have you moved on to Christmas crafting? I just love to know what you all are up to. And I hope that everybody right now is staying as healthy as possible and is doing as well as possible. I'm always praying for you guys, and I'm always here for you guys, and I'm just so thankful for you guys. This community has meant so much to me and has just really brought me so much joy. For the first Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to make some glittering ornaments. We're going to take these clear plastic Dollar Tree ornaments, add some polyacrylic. I had this little inexpensive funnel that I use to funnel the polyacrylic into. I find my polyacrylic at Walmart, and then you're just going to get it all the way around inside of your ornament, and then you're going to dump out the excess. I just dump mine back into my polyacrylic container, and then you do want to let the drips come out. And this was the part that I had to be really patient for. Comment down below and let me know if you're a very impatient crafter. I am an impatient crafter, if you guys don't know by now. So once I felt like I had as many drips out as possible, I'm going to take this fine glitter, and I just buy my glitter at Walmart. It's about $2 for a big thing of glitter, and I feel like this is so magical. And then you just dump some glitter in there. I started with a little bit first, and then I just kind of, as you can see, you just kind of swirl your ornament around. And I thought at first I needed to put the top back on, but really you just continue to swirl that ornament around with the glitter inside to get your desired effect. So this is actually the first time I've ever done this craft before, so you can probably tell that I'm making some funny faces. Someone requested that they see my face more, so I'm going to be trying to show my face more, but if you see me making these crazy funny faces, just know that I'm a very serious, not so serious crafter. So I'm making one of these Dollar Tree, and these are more of the kind of teardrop ornament, and again, I'm just popping in the polyacrylic. I let it drip out, and then I added in, this is the iridescent glitter, and then giving it a good shake. I liked these because they had a really easy to remove and take back on top. So the next one I wanted to do was the gold one. So again, I'm choosing this larger ornament, and then I'm adding in the gold glitter. So again, I love this glitter. It's the extra fine glitter. They sell it in the crafting section at Walmart. It's like $2 and something cents. So the next thing I wanted to do was really jazz up these ornaments, and I'm going to use some of this Mackenzie Childs ribbon. It's leftovers from some of my fall crafting. I'm just going to take and make some little tails for the ornament by dovetailing my end on each side, which just means cutting a triangle upwards and then hot gluing that to the top of the ornament. You could totally stop there, or you could create a bow for the top of your ornament. You guys know me, I'm bow crazy. I love big bows, and I cannot lie. So I'm just making this easy bow. You just take a strip of ribbon, and you're going to hot glue the ends together and then pinch it in the center, and that's going to create kind of like a little bow tie. And this is just a really easy little bow hack. You guys can totally do this. And then to cover up your work, you can just take like a decorative piece of ribbon and wrap it around the center. I chose red. I realized too, after I got done with this and I was editing this video, it looks like the red glitter that I used almost has like a candy apple color, which I absolutely love. I think it's so beautiful, and it takes so little to entertain me, especially when it comes to sparkly and shiny things. I have never tried this DIY before, and I don't know why, because it was so magical. I'm probably going to have to go back to Dollar Tree now and get a bunch more clear ornaments if they still have any left in stock, but how beautiful did this come out? They are so sparkly, fun, and fabulous. And also, if you guys have some transfer letters or a Cricut, you could Cricut some little initials on here. I know a really close friend of mine sells them with she does ballerina ornaments. And so there's so many ideas if you guys do craft fairs or if you sell online at Etsy.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Olivia here with Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video I am so excited to share with you 6 DIY Dollar Tree decor crafts. So this is another episode in my huge I Love Christmas series. I love to share with you guys how you can make your homes boutique gorgeous on a teeny tiny budget. Now let's go ahead and get our Christmas sparkle on. Go ahead and plug in your glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting.
For the first Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take some of these Dollar Tree mini trees, and I'm really going to zhuzh them and jazz them up. I'm starting out with this Dollar Tree crocheted trim, and I want to add a dab of hot glue and add a little bit of crocheted trim to the bottom of each tree. These trees are super adorable. If you just click the on button on the bottom, they'll light up and do this really cool little LED sparkle and shine, which you guys know I love. The next thing I want to do is just take some of this satin ribbon from Dollar Tree and tie a little shoelace bow. And a shoelace bow is just tying a bow like you would tie in your shoelaces. Now I am taking a lighter and I'm heat sealing the ends of my satin ribbon. That's going to keep it from fraying, but kids, please do not try this at home and let a parent do this for you. Also, I want to let you know, if you don't want to use a lighter to heat seal the ends, you can just use some clear nail polish. The next thing I want to do is take some of this Dollar Tree Bling Jewel Gem. I'm going to add a dab of hot glue and then just gently wind it up the tree. Be careful with the amount of glue you're using because it tends to melt the adhesive on the gem. Just a little side note, I kind of learned that the hard way, but the gems kind of do tend to pop off with the adhesive depending upon what you're adhesing it to. Now, I got these jewels from totallydazzled.com, and this is actually a napkin ring, this little gold kind of bracelet. But hey, you guys dig into your grandma stash or your stash of bracelets or broken jewelry and just find whatever pretty sparkly jewels. You could also use the Dollar Tree bling wrap for this spot. I'm then adding my pretty little ribbon to the bottom, and then again some Totally Dazzled jewels to the top. I'm going to leave the link for the Totally Dazzled jewels for you guys down below. It's such amazing deals on their jewels. Now I'm going to do this next tree very similar to the first tree, except for I'm just going to do white and then that pretty gold. And then once I have my beautiful tree all styled and blinged up, here is how it looks. Oh my goodness, I am so in love with these little beautiful jeweled trees. They are so glam and oh so fabulous. You guys know I'm a glam girl. Again, I'll leave the Totally Dazzled website down below. They are so fabulous and they're only about $1.50 per jewel. If you guys have priced them out at Walmart or even Hobby Lobby, they're so much more expensive, and these are so high quality, and they actually even come on a little brooch. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to create a really beautiful glammed up centerpiece. I'm starting out with this Dollar Tree charger and then just this Dollar Tree styrofoam. I added a huge dollop of hot glue and hot glued the piece of styrofoam to the center of the charger. Now I'm taking this Dollar Tree Christmas tree. I'm going to pop it into one side of my styrofoam and give it a little bit of a zhuzhing only to the side. You don't need to zhuzh the bottom. And then I'm going to pop the next Dollar Tree mini Christmas tree to the side. Now try to position them where the one doesn't pop out. You guys can learn from my mistake there, and then you can just kind of gently zhuzh them. Now you're going to want to bring out all of your pretty little glam ribbon and little baubles, so you can use what you have on hand. And then I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to measure this bow by going from the top of my wrist to my elbow and then just looping the ribbon over on itself. This is such an easy way to make a bow. I'm going to count 3 loops on each side of my ribbon, and it's basically going to use up the entire roll of Dollar Tree ribbon. This is their sparkly gold ribbon. I'm going to cut a tiny notch in the center of the bow on either side and then use a pipe cleaner to tie the bow together. Now you're just going to set that side apart, and you guys can see me talking to somebody. I'm talking to my puppy dog. I'm going to measure again the silver bow, and then I'm just going to do the same process, except for I'm going to make it a little bit smaller just by looping it over on itself. And I brought my puppy dog out in the studio today, and he was being totally crazy. Not sure that that was the best idea. Once I have my silver bow, same thing, looping it over on itself 3 times for each side, and then I'm going to do some of the Dollar Tree gold mesh. So For the sparkly ribbon, it is wired. For the mesh ribbon, it's not, but that's okay because this is just going to be popped into a centerpiece. Again, same technique with the mesh ribbon. You're just going to loop it over on itself, and then you're going to begin to pull all of those beautiful loops out. For the next part of this DIY, I'm going to take these pine cone picks from Dollar Tree and I'm cutting off part of the stem and I'm going to pop them into these large oversized ornaments, also from Dollar Tree. I'm adding some hot glue into the base of the ornament and then I'm just going to pop them in to the little styrofoam. Now think about this, if you guys love the thrift store, you can probably find these ornaments even cheaper at the thrift store than $1, or if you're like me and you just have ornaments floating around everywhere, repurpose and reuse some of the ornaments that you already have to fill out the back of your little centerpiece that you're making here. The other thing you could add to the back of your ornament is more greenery or even some more bows, but I'm kind of using what I already have on hand. I'm just giving you guys some ideas of what you guys might want to use. Now I'm adding in some of those pretty Dollar Tree pine cones. These are new to our store this year. And then I'm adding in some of this beautiful Deco mesh. It's kind of more of like a tulle mesh. This was the snowflake mesh that Dollar Tree got in that I shared with you guys on a haul. I think it's so pretty. And I'm just taking it and kind of poofing it out and then using the evergreen branches that are on the Christmas tree to fold them over. So I'm not really tying them on. I'm just taking the branches and folding them over on themselves. And that's tying them onto the actual little tree. And then to get my little bow to stay on, I just kind of popped that in and I took that pine cone and kind of just jabbed it in there and that kind of secured it on there. So get creative, you guys. Use what you have and get totally glam and sparkle fabulous. When you go for a glam look, you want to use a lot of sparkle and shine, and glam looks always do a lot of gold. You can do mixed metals with gold, silver, copper, and then a lot of whites. So you kind of want to think winter wonderland. You can add some pops of pinks, and then I even wanted to do, even with this, kind of a rustic glam, because I was almost thinking of this being kind of like a wedding centerpiece. So if you guys are going for a wedding centerpiece, this might even be something you want to go for, and you can make it budget friendly, especially if you have pine cones in your yard. So I'm taking some of these Dollar Tree poinsettia clips, and these are actually silver. I wish they would have had some gold ones, but I'm going to pull some of the gold from the bow into it with these gold baubles, and I'm even going to add some gold jewels towards the end. So bear with me, but again, use what you have, add some beautiful baubles, and have a fun with it. The next thing I wanted to do was give my centerpiece some character, and for that I decided to go with the snowy owl from Dollar Tree. I love this owl. I pick it up every year. I do so many fun things with it. I added a dab of hot glue to the back. I felt like it would pull the pine cones in, and I do think I want to go in with some extra pine cones on either side of the centerpiece, some that I might grab from my yard eventually. I added some of the TotallyDazzled.com jewels. I'm telling you, their glam jewels are so amazing. They're only about $1.50 each, you guys. I'm going to leave a link in the description box for you to go check them out. If you love to craft with jewels like I do and you're a glam girl, you're going to love their stuff. They have them in gold and just a regular kind of silver, and then I love their rose gold, and they have bling wrap, and oh my goodness, Natalie that has this little shop is just so wonderful. So anyway, here is how it turned out, all the fabulousness and all the wonderfulness. And again, you guys can change this out to suit your decor style. I know some of you all had requested that I do a champagne and blue. I really don't have a lot of blue baubles on hand, but just change some of these colors out. So maybe where you see the silver, add in your blues, where you see the gold, add in your champagnes. Really customize this to suit your decor. This is just an idea for you. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take this beautiful sparkling ornament and create a wonderful Victorian style ornament. I'm going to start out with this Dollar Tree satin ribbon and just hot glue a dab to the top and begin to run the satin ribbon around the ornament. You're going to continue to work your ribbon around the ornament. So you're going to go around the ornament, hot glue it at the top and then at the base and then around the top, and you're going to work all your way around the ornament. Again, this is a great spot for you guys to customize this to suit your decor colors. I'm going to do whites and then kind of some vintage dusty rose pinks on this one, but get creative, dig into your ribbon stash, use what you have. The next thing I wanted to add was this beautiful crochet trim from Dollar Tree. I find all of this ribbon in the crafting section. It's not in with Christmas crafts, it's just in the regular crafting section. I also wanted to add some of these beautiful bling jewels. I'm adding a dab of hot glue to the top and then in and around the edges. The jewels aren't super sticky adhesive, but be careful when you're using glue with the jewels because it tends to melt the adhesive. And so I'm just running them in and around the little jewel part here, and that is going to give that extra bling Victorian kind of glam factor. The next thing I want to do is just make a little loopy bow here, and I also wanted to use some of this larger lace ribbon. You guys can really find lace ribbon at any fabric store or craft store. You guys can also look for it at the thrift store or even cut up pieces of an old lace tablecloth that has seen better days. I've done that many times. So hot glue that to the top of your pretty Victorian inspired ornament. This is really bringing back that old world style that I absolutely love. I feel like this year's Christmas is definitely going to be a nostalgic Christmas for me. I love to get a little bit of glam and girly in my bedroom and my bathroom, and then do more of the traditional reds and those colors in my living room with my family. So anyway, I'm adding a bling jewel to the top. I love all the glam bling jewels, again from totallydazzled.com. I'm just so crushing on them. Now I felt like I needed to add in some pink ribbon, so I'm using the rest of that dusty pink ribbon, and this was actually from Dollar Tree. They have really pretty satin ribbon at Dollar Tree. I kind of collect it throughout the year. It's pretty random when they get it in. I'm also using some of the Dollar Tree baby's breath. I don't think it's called baby's breath. I can't remember what it says on the tag, but it looks like baby's breath to me from what I understand. And then just some spring flowers, just these pretty white flowers. I'm hot gluing that in here. It's almost kind of looking like a kissing ball, but the Victorian ornaments usually are totally over the top. And I used to make them and sell them in an Etsy store, and I would add like little mini roses here. I don't have those anymore, but that would be the point. I would add some mini roses, and you can find those in little packets online on Amazon or at your local craft store. So here it is, mixed in with this beautiful, dazzling, glam, shabby chic setting. I hope you guys are loving this and just giving all those romantic vibes. So fun and fabulous for a girly, glam, shabby chic Christmas. The next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to take this Dollar Tree present box that I had chalk painted white. I'm also going to take this bling wrap. This bling wrap is actually from totallydazzled.com. I'll leave their link down below. But you can find bling wrap at Dollar Tree. It doesn't come in this wider roll, so you would have to probably grab about 2 rolls of it to get all the way around one of their little present boxes. But get creative, use what you guys have on hand. I know you can go for it. I'm going to cover this whole box. You could also cover this in one of their automotive cloths to make a really pretty fuzzy box. I've done that for you guys before as well. Now, the next next thing I want to do is pop some Dollar Tree styrofoam into the bottom of this box. I'm going to use these roses. Now, I did order these off of Amazon. You can also get really pretty little Christmas poinsettias at Dollar Tree, or even you might have some roses left over from the spring holiday. So think about that. Use what you have on hand. Now, these roses are only $13 on Amazon for a whole packet of 30. I'm going to leave some roses in my Amazon store for you guys to check out. That link will be in my description box below. Now, I'm taking this beautiful white and gold Christmas ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm wrapping it around the center part of the box. You're going to see these boxes on a Macy's perfume counter. They always look so glamorous and beautiful. I'm going to make a shoelace bow, and I'm going to make a double one. So I'm just doubling up the ribbon and tying like I would tie my shoelaces. And this is so easy. And when you double it up, it just makes it look really glamorous. You're just going to trim off the edges. Don't forget to make a triangle in the end, and that's going to give your ribbon that really pretty kind of little glamorous look. And then you can pull the little loops out and twist them. That way all of the writing is facing outwards. And I love the little Dollar Tree, the little mini ribbon with the gold lettering on it. It says love and peace and joy, and it's just so glamorous and pretty. Nobody would ever know that this was from Dollar Tree. Again, I'm going to add a pretty bling jewel to the center part of this, and that's really going to dazzle everything up and just bring that glam effect. All those little details when you're working and making crafts, especially when you're making glam crafts, are going to bring your displays and your crafts just to that next level. And you don't necessarily have to invest in the bling jewels. Think about using pieces of jewelry that have seen better days, as far as like maybe part of it is broken and you could use a jeweled part of something, or maybe you have a grandma's jewelry and you want to do a memory jeweled floral box. That's another idea for you guys. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make over some of the little Dollar Tree wooden. They're probably like maybe little ornament pieces in the little boxes. I'm going to take this 2X Rust-Oleum spray paint. I just had this color on hand. It's kind of a wine color. I thought it'd be nice for this kind of Victorian glam that we're going for. And I'm just going to give it a good healthy coating of spray paint. I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to take a Dollar Tree crocheted piece. They have these little crochet doilies that come in a 2-pack. You could also just use some thrift store curtain lace. I use that all the time. And I'm going to lay that over my little wooden piece, and then with some flat white spray paint, I'm just going to give it a tiny coating of white spray paint. You don't need that much. You're going to let that dry for a couple of minutes, and I feel like this is so magical. I love doing this lace spray painting technique. I've been doing this for years on all kinds of things, and voila, check this out. How amazing did this come out? I think this is so cool, especially if you guys are going for that vintage style Christmas. I feel like this is something that looks so vintage chic, and think about all the different colors you guys could actually do underneath this. Now, I wanted to go for something a little bit different, so I thought about adding a glam jewel to the top of this, and then it jogged my memory that my grandmother, as she got older, she stopped actually putting up a really large Christmas tree, and she ended up just doing a picture frame tree where it was a picture frame, and then she just used really pretty jewelry to make a Christmas tree. And I'm not even for sure if she made that herself or if she just bought it that way. I know that that was a thing back at some point in time. So this is kind of in honor of her. I went ahead and just took some of these really pretty bling pieces from totallydazzled.com. Again, I'll leave their link down below. I know I've mentioned it so many times in this video, but I love their jewels. And I just did kind of a collage of jewels. It ended up covering up the pretty lace painting a little bit too much, but I wanted to just kind of honor grandma in that idea of just having like a jeweled tree. So you guys could kind of go either way with that craft. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, this is kind of a different spin on this. I picked up some of these Dollar Tree little felt trees. I'm really not for sure like what the craft you're supposed to do with this, but I had the idea to do a lace painting on these, and I wasn't really for sure how awesome this would work, but I did go ahead and just pop the Dollar Tree lace doily on top of this. It's the same one I used in the last project, and I'm using just some of this flat Rust-Oleum 2X spray paint. This is my favorite spray paint. I just love it. It just works really well. A little bit goes a long way. And so I just added a layer of that, and you guys can see it kind of worked. It wasn't like a super strong spray job, but you can really faintly see it kind of made an outline. I don't know if you guys could see Benji Bear over there. I decided to go ahead and add in some more little goodies to this. I just couldn't stop there. So I added this little crochet piece, and you guys can see this little box. It's just kind of like a collection of just stuff. You guys have like a little kind of crafty junk box. So I have like little snowflake jewels. You guys can grab these at Dollar Tree, and there's just little bling jewels that I'm kind of adding like bits and bobs all over the tree to cover up those little holes. And so I'm just kind of getting creative with this. You could add pom-poms to this. I think this would really be a fun craft for kids. I think you could just use really Elmer's glue on top of the felt instead of the hot glue, because the hot glue gets kind of tedious. So just really be careful if you are using hot glue to supervise those kiddos. Now I'm taking some crochet lace and I'm kind of winding it in and around the little tree, again, just to make it kind of funsy. I think it would be really cute and sweet to put yarn through this. The crochet lace was like a little bit thick to kind of be putting through there, but again, I wanted to have that kind of shabby chic effect. And so anyway, I also hot glued it so it would stay into place, but again, I feel like Elmer's glue would also work on the felt. It would just, you would have to be careful to let it dry. So comment and let me know if you guys work with felt. I don't really work with felt that much, but I do believe that Elmer's glue should work on that. All right, you guys, here's our little tree after the added bubbles and funsy goodies. As always, I ask that you all comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this girly, glam, shabby chic decor video. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to create a beautiful poinsettia tree. I'm going to start out with this Dollar Tree bucket. I wanted to paint it gold and then let it dry, so I just used some spray paint and painted it gold. Now I'm going to use my trusty Dollar Tree plunger, and then I'm going to begin to attach these picks, and this is just Dollar Tree poinsettia picks and then the Dollar Tree gold berries. So I'm going every other one, and I'm attaching a poinsettia pick and then a berry pick. Now I started out using 6 bundles of poinsettias, but I did not end up using all of them. I suggest to go ahead and pick up 5 to 6 bundles just in case you're like me and you really want to zhuzh it up and go over the top. But if you're on a budget, I think 4 would probably be sufficient. So once I had all of my picks applied, I set that aside and I'm working on my little gold bucket. So I'm just using some pretty Dollar Tree mesh ribbon, and I glued that around the top of my tin bucket. They have these tin buckets at Dollar Tree, but you guys could really use any little bucket that you have on hand. Now here's the part that you want to do is flip your plunger inside out. The reason I use a plunger is because the plunger is going to adhere to this bucket and it's going to stabilize your tree, which is really helpful. You could also add a couple of rocks or stones inside of this to just give it a little bit of weight to it. I don't, but that's just an idea for you guys if you're going to be in a high traffic area. Now, I also popped in a couple of little foam pieces on either side. Dollar Tree sells these foam pieces, and just 2 little small pieces is sufficient. The next thing I want to do is add some burlap. Any burlap will do, or really any ribbon ribbon will do. I'm hot gluing it at the top and then just gently winding it around my tree branch. You want to kind of overlay it and just wind it around as you go. It wasn't necessary for me to add additional glue, but you can always do that if you feel like that is necessary for your ribbon or burlap. I'm going to snip that off at the bottom and then hot glue that to the base so it doesn't go anywhere. The next part of my DIY is I'm going to use some of this Spanish moss from Dollar Tree. Really any kind of greenery that you have on hand, just something to cover up your work in that foam piece. You could also use some evergreen, that would be pretty. Now see, I have two poinsettia bundles left over, and these poinsettias are the Dollar Tree poinsettias with the little gold tips, if that helps you be able to find them easier. I'm going to clip several of these off and just fill them in kind of around the base so you can't see the top part of the plunger. This step, of course, is totally optional. Now for the next part of this Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to create a holiday bow using my Easy Bow Maker. I'm starting out with this Dollar Tree red ribbon, and this ribbon is actually not wired, but it's very stiff. I want to go about 5 to 6 inches out with my Easy Bow Maker on either side, so your loop is going to go 5 to 6 inches out on either side, and I do want to make sure that my pattern part is up. So you're going to twist it and make sure that your pattern part is facing up. Then you want to dovetail your ends, and to do that you're just going to cut a triangle upwards. Be careful when you're using your scissors, you don't want to snip your fingers. The next part of this is I'm going to use some Dollar Tree red mesh ribbon. I'm going to layer in several different ribbons of choice. You guys use whatever you have on hand. That will help you make it a little bit more budget friendly. You don't necessarily have to use the ribbon that I'm using. I'm trying to make this a Dollar Tree only craft, so just to give you guys an idea. I'm also using some Dollar Tree gold sparkling ribbon. This sparkling ribbon is very sparkly. It does have a lot of fallout. Just a little side note. Now again, I'm keeping this about 5 inches on either side and just continuing to layer on more and more ribbon. I want this to look beautiful, as if it was a holiday centerpiece fit for royalty, because you all are royalty in your homes. Make it fabulous and festive and really celebrate the holidays this year, and you guys can do that on a budget. I always want to share that with you, and if you can afford higher end ribbon, go for it, but if you cannot, that is just fine too. You can make do with what you have and celebrate it and make it fabulous. Now I'm adding in this last bit of gold mesh ribbon. I do like the mesh ribbon because it gives a different textural element to your designs. So if you see it at your Dollar Tree, pop it in. If not, again, it's not the end of the world. Now that I have my big fluffy fabulous bow, I'm going to tie it off at the center with a pipe cleaner. You can also use a little wire. The next thing I want to do is really fluffy it out. Now be patient here, but you want to pull all of those loops out so you can see all of your beautiful ribbons. So that is going to be the trick to your bow. Now once I had it attached to the base of my tree, I did add in just a little tiny bit of Dollar Tree plaid ribbon. I felt like that toned down the gold just a hair and then accented the rest of the piece. I also took my tree and popped it into this little thrift store planter that I had. I wanted to balance it out just a little bit in this setting. Here it is popped into my little display. My faux mantle. Again, we're celebrating the holidays in style, on a budget, so fun and fabulous. And I cannot wait to see you guys recreate some of these poinsettia trees. I have been so proud of everybody in my little free group page over my Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook group page that has recreated all of the fun DIY decor pieces and the fall trees you guys have done. So I am just waiting anxiously to see how you guys interpret some of these Christmas trees that we've been doing. For For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys a fun and fabulous way to jazz up some of these Dollar Tree signs. So this is the Sparkle and Shine. It's Christmas time, and so many of you guys that found this sign sent me pictures of it and said that it reminded you all of me, because I do love that sparkle and shine. So I felt like I just had to share with you guys how to jazz it up. So I'm taking some of this buffalo check plaid ribbon. Now this ribbon comes in huge rolls at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Always use your coupon, but I'm just kind of layering it and ruching it kind of off to the side. So dig into your craft stash and keep some of those extra ribbons, because you can use them on your Dollar Tree signs. Now I'm taking some of this Dollar Tree plaid ribbon and I actually cut it in half because it's rather large. I didn't want it to overwhelm the sign. And I also want to share this as a trick and a tip, because if you're making crafts to sell, you want to cut down some of your ribbon, because that will help cut your cost, and it will also help you be able to use more ribbon and make your projects look even more beautiful, to be able to layer in so much ribbon. And sometimes it can get a little costly. So if you like to go over the top, that's just a little tip if you're working on a smaller project, to help you save ribbon but also use loads of it. Now I'm adding in some of this Dollar Tree cute little elf ribbon. Dollar Tree has the cutest tiny ribbon, and I love to go in with these little accent pieces. Again, this is really what's going to draw your eye in, is accenting. So we layered in a buffalo check plaid and then another plaid, and then going in with this cute little accent ribbon. Again, look into your craft stash, use what you have fun with it, and you don't even necessarily have to use this sign. You may have a Dollar Tree sign left over from last year or the year before last, or any Christmas sign. You could even DIY a sign and just add some pretty bows to it. It really is going to fancy it up. And this would also be a great gift for a neighbor, a mom, just really anybody that loves Christmas time and that loves to get sparkly and shiny. Now, I couldn't resist also adding in some of that sparkly red Dollar Tree ribbon. I'm also making sure that I trim the ends of my ribbon so they look really nice. Again, if you're selling on a craft site or you're making this for a family or friend, you really want to make sure your ribbon ends are really nice and pretty to look at. You don't want to go to work on a project, spend all that time and effort, and then have ribbons that are frayed or icky looking. So take your project to that next step and make it beautiful. It will only take you just a couple of minutes to just make it look that much extra special. So continuing to add in some beautiful ribbons with the rest of this red sparkling ribbon. And then I do have some little baubles on hand. And again, I added in some pretty little red ornaments. Those little mini ornaments are great to have on hand for your Christmas crafting. They're so perfect to add into wreaths. And you guys can see I added some into this cute little sign. I believe I added 3, so it didn't take much to jazz this up and just make it look fabulous. And think about this, if you decorate big Christmas trees, this would make an awesome ornament. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys a repaint on one of those Dollar Tree Halloween little cute pumpkin topiary signs. So I'm going to flip it over and chalk paint it with 2 coats of chalk paint, and I do go ahead and chalk paint the other side as well. The next thing I want to do is add a cute little snowman face by adding this carrot nose, and then just some easy little dots for my little snow person's mouth. I then added some eyes and then a cute little hat. Now I am going to do this in kind of a Mackenzie Childs inspired snowman style with some stripes and some checks. You guys can make this a little bit more simple, or you can go for it and kind of follow the template that I'm showing you. Around his neck, I wanted to give him a very unique, fun, and fashionable little scarf with, again, some checkered scarf ideas, and then give him a little vest. So I am crafting this and trying this upside down for you guys. Again, I think I'm going to end up becoming an upside down painter. Does that make sense? So here I'm going in with some black and white checks. I have recently been loving the Arteza craft paint. It's a little bit more expensive, but definitely well worth it. Now, Also, I do love the Walmart Apple Barrel craft paint. That will work as well. So I'm going in with the black paint and painting my checks. And also on the scarf, I decided to go in a sideways manner to kind of cascade down my little pumpkin. I also had one of you all tell me to use one of my puppy training pads to paint on top of. So I've been doing that. It just works as a great absorbent thing for my paintbrush. I have been trying to paint on a background that's not white though, because I have had requests for me not to paint white objects on white backgrounds, which I totally understand. That can be hard for some people to see. Now you can see I'm going in with the gold and white checks and a little bit of a gold accent pen. That's going to give that Mackenzie Childs flair. They have a lot of gold and white drug through their black and white checks, and that also makes it look a little bit less race car-ish. So there he is, so fun and fabulous, and getting ready to do his face, which I always get the most nervous about. And I do have some inspiration for this. I have a little Mackenzie Childs snowman napkin, so that was kind of the inspiration behind this. But again, a napkin and then a sign are pretty different. Now I decided to go in to do the little vest or coat or whatever kind of covering thing here with some bright red paint, just to kind of give it a little bit of sparkle and shine. And you're going to see me do it one way, and I kind of went back in and then changed it and did it another way. So when you guys see me paint this as live in person, I don't ever practice my crafts either before I make them. I just go for it. So I want to encourage you all to just go for it. If you have a craft or a sign sitting around, especially if it's a $1 sign, get out those paintbrushes, plug in your glue guns, and go for it. Give yourself grace. If it's a $1 sign, what is going to happen? Nothing. I just want you guys to really try, because I know sometimes I get nervous about starting a project, especially when it comes to something like this. I've been really nervous to try this snow person, but I felt like it came out pretty good in the end. I'm going in with a little bit of red in the hat to accent and also pull in the little red with the jacket. Now with the eyes, I'm going in with some black for the eyes, and then I also usually do some white up top for the eyes. I also decided to give this snow person kind of a checkered brim at the top, and the other thing is I usually give my people blue eyes because I have blue eyes, but since I already had out green paint, I thought not to waste my blue paint, so I ended up giving my snowman some green eyes, which I thought was kind of cool as well. So enjoy watching me paint, and I hope this guys inspires you guys to paint something for your holiday as well. Now, I will tell you, if you all are doing some of these painting projects, I love the paint pens. Dollar Tree sells the gold paint pens, and for Christmas, it's definitely a must-have. I also love the Deco Art Premium Paint Pen. You can get them at Michael's Craft Store. I order some on Amazon. They look so beautiful. The reason part of why Mackenzie Child's creations are so expensive is they actually use gold in some of their paint. And so the paint pen really brings out that kind of gold effect that you want when you're kind of recreating those. So I ended up using some ribbon to make the little buttons on his vest. And then I gave him some little pink cheeks, and I think he just looks so happy and is just perfectly imperfect. I'm not sure what I should name him. I think he's definitely a him, but he is looking cute and he adds character, which I think is very fun. I had a lot of fun with the snow people that I made last year, so I'm definitely going to be crushing on him this year. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I cut about 7 to 8 strips of Dollar Tree sparkling red ribbon, and we're going to make some sparkling poinsettias. So I cut them in about 8 to 9 inch pieces, and then you can see I'm just making a point by folding my ribbon over and cutting in an upward direction. Once you have all of your points cut on your poinsettias, you can just kind of gather them together. The last video I did share with you guys how to create a poinsettia with a really stiff ribbon. I wanted to share with you guys how to create one with this really pretty, not so stiff ribbon, and it's really sparkly and very glam. So if you have problems with your fingers, I wanted you to know that this ribbon might be a lot easier for you all to work with. You also might want to use the Dollar Tree mesh ribbon if you have problems with your fingers. So that's just a little side note, or maybe you're just a glamorous girl and you want to do some glam poinsettias. So I tied it together with the little pipe cleaner here, and then you guys know I have to get even more glamorous by adding in some sparkling ribbon, and that's also going to hide my work. I don't want anybody to see that pipe cleaner part, and these are so fun to make, and also another great way to repurpose and reuse. Maybe you're like me and you save a lot of your holiday ribbon from last season, but maybe you've gotten it out and it looks kind of shabby. This would be a great way to reuse that ribbon, make it into a poinsettia, because maybe it won't work for a tree anymore or a wreath because it's just gotten too icky, but it would work great for a poinsettia. Now I'm going to add a glam jewel, and I get my glam jewels at totallydazzle.com. So many of you all ask me where I get them. I'm going to leave their link to their website down below. They're amazing. Natalie is so sweet. She's just such a doll. And they sell their jewels really inexpensive. They'll even run 30% off sales, and their jewels are like $1.50 each, which is super inexpensive, especially if you make and sell glam crafts. I had to source them for so many years, and they were so hard to find. I was so excited when I actually found this little company. So anyway, as always, I ask that you guys comment and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. I love to hear what you guys are going to be crafting up. It is so fun also to see all of the creations that you all are posting on my Livy's Romantic Home Facebook group page. You guys are so creative and inspiring to me, and I have just gotten so many ideas. And the other thing is I want to compliment you all because you're so encouraging towards one another. And I just hope that wherever you guys are at in your crafting journey, that you keep up the good work, crafting and decorating, and just plugging in your glue guns and getting out your glitter and paint and going for it. I think it is such great therapy, and it just feels so good to make something nice for your home, nice for something for your friend or family, and you can also even make a couple bucks on the side. So have fun, go for it. To get started decorating my designer-inspired tree, I'm going to take pieces of a ribbon that I've cut into 4.5 foot strips, and I'm just going to start at the top of my tree. I'm using the evergreen branches, and I'm crossing the branches over on top of the ribbon, and I'm going to wind the ribbon down the tree. I chose wired ribbon, and this ribbon is from Dollar Tree. I chose a sparkling red ribbon, ribbon and then 2 different checkerboard pattern ribbon. This ribbon they actually had out during the fall season. If you cannot find it now at the Dollar Tree, you could order it on Amazon, or you could also find it at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to wind it in kind of a cascading waterfall pattern, and you can just kind of pull it in and around the tree. I also want to let you know that this is a 6.5 foot flocked tree from Walmart. So you can see I'm just kind of pulling the little loops out, and I would say my loops are about 10 to 12 inch loops. Now I'm going to start in a different section, and again I'm using 4.5 foot pieces of ribbon that I pre-cut. Now if you have a taller tree, you may want to cut longer pieces of ribbon. Again, I am using wired ribbon, and this ribbon is from the Dollar Tree, so you do not have to break the bank and buy super expensive ribbon to create this designer inspired look. Now again, I'm using 4.5 foot pieces of ribbon, and I'm using 3 ribbon pieces together. Again, I'm kind of cascading them in a waterfall somewhat pattern, and you can tell it looks, I would say, a little bit of a hot mess right now, but bear with me because we're going to make this all come together. So now I'm starting on the other side of my tree, and I'm making it kind of meet up with the little spots that I've already cascaded down one side. So I cascaded down and I went to the left, and then now I'm cascading down and going to the right. So you just kind of want to create a little bit of a crisscross pattern, and it does not have to be perfect because we are going to layer so many beautiful ornaments on. You're not even going to see really the ribbon pattern after you're done. Now I'm using some Dollar Tree poinsettia picks, and I believe I used about 5 to 6 picks, and I'm not cutting them apart. I'm just popping them into the tree. And these are the smaller kind of poinsettia picks. You just pop them into the tree and it's going to create this beautiful burst of color. So again, you do not have to use high-end designer picks to create a really beautiful tree. Go to Dollar Tree, pick out some beautiful picks, which they really do have some beautiful picks out right now. Now the picks that I chose are just the Dollar Tree poinsettia picks, and they're the ones that have kind of a really pretty, almost a velvet feel. So I used 4 bundles in my tree, and then I'm just pushing some bundles into the top part of the tree. Now comes the favorite part to make a big beautiful bow. So I'm taking the ribbon and I'm measuring from the top of my hand to my elbow to create my bow. And then I'm just going to loop the ribbon over on itself. And for a reference point, if you're new to my channel, this is what I call the Olivia bow. So I'm going to loop the ribbon over on itself a total of 6 times, or 3 times on each side of my bow. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to link a big bow video down below for you guys if you need help making bows. So you can see I'm counting my loops, and again, I want to have 6 loops. Or if you guys only have a certain amount of ribbon, that's okay too. Again, this is all Dollar Tree ribbon. Now this black and white check ribbon is actually from Hobby Lobby, but Dollar Tree did have that black and white check ribbon. I used so much of it during the fall, though I did end up running out. Now I'm finding the center of my bow, and I'm going to cut 2 little notches, one on either side of my ribbon. Very, very tiny notches. You don't want to cut too far into your ribbon because your ribbon will fall apart. The notches are important because it'll help your pipe cleaner have something to hold on to. Now bear with me. I'm going to do some super fun holiday dancing, ribbon dancing, or maybe awkward mom dancing, really, because I'm listening and jamming out to some Van Morrison, or I'm really not quite for sure, but definitely some 70s music while I'm making my ribbons. Okay, so again, I'm just doing the same type pattern here where I'm measuring the ribbon the length of my arm, and I'm going to do some more dancing here, but I'm basically just going to layer these ribbons all together. So again, find your center, make some little notches, and then you're going to use a pipe cleaner to tie this all together. So here we go. We're going to layer this on top of your last little bit of ribbon. And what we're doing is we're going to create a Christmas tree topper. This is what I love to do. I love to create a big bow on top of my trees. And I'm going to make this underneath my poinsettia topper. Okay, so again, I just measured the length the length of my arm, and this is going to be my last set of ribbon. Now again, this was from Dollar Tree and it was the fall ribbon, but you guys could always just use buffalo check plaid ribbon. They have it at Walmart, they have it at Hobby Lobby. Pretty much everywhere has buffalo check plaid ribbon. Even I think Dollar General has it. Okay, so find again your center. You can make the little notch and then you can just tie it off with a pipe cleaner. So you're just going to layer these all together, and this is going to create that big beautiful Olivia bow that you're going to use as a tree topper. Have fun with it. Take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. I promise you, keep trying. Now listen, I have been addicted to the Easy Bow Maker. So if you've been using your Easy Bow Maker, you can easily make a Christmas tree topper with the Easy Bow Maker. So go for that as well. Now here's the fun part. The part that I love is to fluff your bow out. Again, more awkward mom dancing or fun and fabulous dancing for the holidays. Jam out, put on some music and have fun with this. But really pull out all of your notches in your ribbon, because that is going to fluff your bow. Lots and lots of fluffing. That is a key to your bows. I love big bows and I cannot lie. You have got to fluff your bow. Pull out all those ribbon loops. That's really going to give your bow that standout wow factor that you really want. And then you're just going to take that pipe cleaner and tie your bow on. Now see, here's what I'm talking about. Even after I fluffed my bow, I'm going to fluff it some more. And there's your big plume on top with your poinsettias. And then you can even go in and add more picks to the top of that. You guys know me, I love to go totally over the top. This is how I do my trees, but you guys do you. Here's the other tip I have for you. These are just ideas for how you might want to do your tree, but use your creative eye, which I know you guys have one, and use the colors that you love. So instead of using this buffalo check plaid, use pinks, use purples, use blues and silvers and champagnes. You don't have to do my colors. You guys can use the same style, but just use your colors. Now Dollar Tree is also carrying pine cone picks. Who knew? They're really getting high end, you guys. So add some pine cone picks, add some berries. They're carrying these beautiful champagne berries. You can add glam into your farmhouse, which I absolutely love. Now I'm going in with more Dollar Tree ornaments. I'm telling you guys, I used all Dollar Tree supplies on this tree, minus some Walmart poinsettia picks that I add on the end. So get creative, have fun.
Well, I've got news for you. I know you're waiting. Christmas is right here. Well, I've got news for you. I know you're waiting.
Now the other thing I also have to mention, when you all are choosing your ornaments, even from Dollar Tree, choose ornaments that are sparkly, that also have some softness, like the little Dollar Tree sweater ornaments, and then also some ornaments that are shiny. So try to choose a variety that will give your eye some interest, and even some handmade ornaments that'll give your tree some sentimental value. So really have fun and go for it, and also have your kiddos pitch in, jam out some Christmas music and have fun with this.
Oh yeah, the Christmas spirit's coming on. Love is in the air, my heart is filled with peace. It comes back every year just to set my mind at ease. Oh, Christmas is a part of me.
The next thing I want to tell you to keep your eye out for, if you love to do designer inspired looks on a budget, is Dollar Tree is putting out packs of cedar picks. They come in a 6-pack. They are an excellent thing to add to your tree toppers, to your wreaths, especially if you're going to sell beautiful wreaths or garlands, or if you just want to do a designer look for your home like me. Grab some of those. They're definitely going to add some sparkle and shine. The other thing I want you to look for at Walmart are these beautiful poinsettia picks. They're 98 cents. They're putting them out in these farmhouse colors. They also have them in just plain colors, glam, pretty much every color they have. these have been my secret weapon for years and years and years now. And I'll tell you what, I have had the best time decorating this tree. Christmas is my jam. I love decorating. You guys know me, I love decorating, period. But I love decorating for Christmas. I could honestly do a Christmas tree for every single style. Here's another fun thing that that Walmart is putting out. They're putting out these cute little curly cute ting things. Now, for some reason, they're $1.48 and their poinsettia little clips are only 98 cents. I don't know why. Maybe the little curly cute things are harder to make, but grab some of those. They just really make a huge difference and a really big impact. So, I just sprinkled a couple of the poinsettias throughout this tree, and it really helped all of this buffalo check plaid colors come together. So truly, this tree was very, very budget friendly. And I can almost guarantee if you guys wanted to try this look, it would be so easy to do because I know the majority of you all probably already have some of these colors on hand. Now, here's a little trick. Grab a really inexpensive piece of fabric. This is just this checkerboard fabric. It's from Hobby Lobby. I believe it was maybe $6 for about 1.5 yards or 2 yards. This is just some Amazon boxes that I wrapped in some gift wrap. And then these are some Dollar Tree DIYs. Go check out the rest of my I Love Christmas series. You guys, we have done almost 40 Dollar Tree DIYs just for the 2020 season alone. I'm going to link a huge I Love Christmas series playlist down below. It's going to take you through hundreds, and I mean hundreds of Dollar Tree DIYs and Christmas decorating, fall decorating, so many different ideas for you guys to do on a budget. Listen, I know so many of you guys may be on a budget this season, or you just want to do designer inspired looks and have money left over to spend on your loved ones. So you can make your home fabulous. And I love to share with you guys so many things. I know so many of you guys have been telling me too, you're coming together and decorating with your friends and family, or you're doing projects with your loved ones. So I just want to encourage you guys, have fun with it, keep up the good work. And crafting is also really good for your mental health. I know it is for me. So check out how cute all of these Dollar Tree ornaments just look, clustered together, layered on top of one another. And then here's some of those little DIY poinsettias we've been doing. You can make poinsettias out of ribbon. So maybe you can't find those poinsettias at Walmart, or maybe you can't get out. Look, you guys can do these and make them out of ribbon. They're so easy to do. So go check out that DIY video. It's one of the last ones I just posted. So you guys, I love you. And as always, hey, comment and let me know, what was your favorite idea in this video that I shared with you guys? Was it the ribbon? Was it the way we used ornaments? Was it some of the ways that I did some of the things around the bottom and the base of the tree? So don't leave that base of your tree empty. Throw some poinsettias under there or some little handmade snowman. I've been sharing with you guys how to make snowmen out of your extra pumpkin decor. Wrap some Amazon boxes. You guys can use, I've been sharing with you guys how to make wrapped packages out of old fabric. So fun. And also those little cute little pillows, you guys, you can order those pillow coverings on Amazon for next to nothing. So have fun with it. Get creative. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be posting for the holidays on my Facebook group page. You guys have just been so creative through fall, and I love to see what you guys are up to. I'm just really thankful and blessed. It just makes my heart sparkle and shine to see everybody's creativity. And check out those roses. It was mine and my husband, aka Mr. Romantic. It was our anniversary recently. He bought me some roses. It was so sweet. So anyway, I love y'all. I just want to continue to encourage you, and to also encourage everybody to continue to leave kind comments on one another's posts. Also on our group page. That's such an uplifting and kind thing to do. I know so many people are afraid to post pictures of their DIY projects, but don't be afraid, because everybody's at a different spot in their creative journey, and everybody's really doing a really nice job of uplifting one another, and that's really also an important process. So maybe you're not there yet of posting a picture, but maybe you want to lift somebody else up. So keep up the good work, and I love y'all, and I'm thankful to have you guys here, and I cannot wait to see what everybody's going to be up to.
Love is in the air, my heart is filled with peace. It comes back every year just to set my mind at ease. Oh,
for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafty decor adventure. I just want to remind you guys to keep up the good work crafting and decorating. Remember, everybody is at a different spot in their crafting and decorating journey, and give yourself grace. So whether you're a beginner or a pro or just a dabbler, everybody's gonna be learning and enjoying themselves. And if you guys mess up, listen, a lot of times, especially if you're working with Dollar Tree products, it's just $1. So if you end up having to pop it into the trash or stop and come back to it later, it's not the end of the world. I know some of you guys are like saying that you have craft anxiety and you just don't know when to start or how to start, but all you guys have to do is plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter, get out your paint, and just go for it. Listen, I just want to really encourage you guys. And for everybody that is posting over on my Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook group page, props to you guys for having courage to post photos of your home decor and your DIY projects. I also would like to invite you guys over there. It's Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook page. Follow me over there. I have a group page as well. It's totally free. It's such an uplifting, kind community. And listen, it's just a friend social community, okay? It's for positivity only. We have so much going out there in the world that we need a place where we can just escape and unwind and share crafts and share decorating. That's it. That's all it's for, okay? It's totally free to join. Request to join. I'll approve your request and you can post photos of your home decor and DIY projects. I approve those requests and I also approve your posts. And I do that in between all my crafting and being a mom and all of that kind of stuff. So be patient with me. I try to do it in the morning and also in the evening. So just have fun with it. Pop in and out when you have time as well. I also have Olivia's Romantic Home Instagram page. You guys can hashtag me over there. I do my best to try to share posts and also a good morning cup of coffee with you every morning. I try to be very positive and share a cup of coffee with you guys. I'm a morning person. So I love y'all to the moon and back. I can't wait for the next video. And until then, remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. And I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.